Larry, thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. So, I want to talk about, technology, the latest, everything is always big in any kind of industry, but especially in automotive. And Chat GPT is kind of coming on the surface on all walks of life, but in automotive. Tell us a little bit about what Chat GPT is and kind of how it works.
Yeah, ChatGPT, it was really just released on the public November of last year. So only been out several months now. And basically what it is, it's a program that allows you to either ask questions or enter prompts or statements, and they get text-based responses back in natural language. Like you and I have this conversation right now. We literally have the ability to use ChatGPT to ask it questions and carry on conversations just like you and I are doing.
Write papers, write memos, and any.
That's one of the biggest use cases for it, of course, right out of the gate, because again, it's all text based. So from a dealership perspective, you can leverage it to write copy. You could leverage it to write sales scripts. You could streamline some of your workflows that you have existing now. From a fixed ops perspective, you could use it to stay in touch with your customers, talk about preventative maintenance, use it to generate content for email campaigns, or if you still do direct mail flyers, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Just creating opportunities to touch base with your clients.
What could be some? It sounds wonderful, right? But there's the adoption part of it. There's the acceptance part of it.
Sure.
There's the training part of it. Kind of talk a little bit about those kind of potential speed bumps along the way to. If I'm the fixed ops director, I'm all in on Chat GPT. What could be some headwinds that I might face?
The biggest thing, and again, we've only been on a few months, but even in just the last few weeks, I've seen major changes at the acceptance level because people struggle understanding how to construct the right prompts or statements that they're giving to Chat GPT to get the responses back that they expect. So what we have to understand is we're only going to get results back from ChatGPT based on its understanding of how we pose the question.
Mm-hmm.
So we, as the individuals interacting with this application, have to understand how to structure the questions to get what we expect in return. So prompt engineering it's not a new term, but it's relatively new in the ChatGPT space. Everything's new. But prompt engineering is really what I'm hearing the most about over the last 4 to 6 weeks. Because people are understanding that if they understand how to ask the questions, they'll get back responses that are more in line with their preconceived expectations of those responses.
And it, like a lot of AI, it gets better as it learns more. It's continuously learning and improving on what they do.
Well, and that's the cool thing with ChatGPT as well, is that it remembers our conversations. So just like you and I, odds are if we had this conversation again in a couple hours, you'll probably remember it, right? So ChatGPT does the same thing, and it learns based on its interaction with you. So one of the things you can do as well to really get back these awesome results that people are expecting is to preload ChatGPT with some of your existing content written in your voice. Because that's one of the biggest complaints is I get these responses back from ChatGPT, but they're so generic, they're bland, they don't sound like me. Well, that's because it doesn't know what you sound like. So if you take an article that you've written, or you've taken sales copy that you've written, or anything along those lines, and you preload it into ChatGPT, it analyzes that for sentimentality, for tone, for pacing, for cadence, you name it. It covers all of that, learns from it. Then when you ask it to give you something back, it does it in your voice.
And there's all sorts of, there's already AI you can do some scheduling and appointment setting,
Sure.
things like that. But it's also, you talk about, pricing, can do customer surveys, get, data back on that. So there's all sorts of applications. How would, if I'm a fixed ops director or a dealer principal, how do I learn more, I guess, to see if this kind of would really fit what I need?
Yeah, one of the cool things that you can do to learn more is just play with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to chat.openai.com and jump right in there and start asking it questions. And honestly, it's trained on such a large data set. I mean, ChatGPT was trained on 20 billion different parameters or 20 billion different data points. So it's been trained on massive amounts of text off the internet, articles, newspapers, books, you name it. If it's text-based, that's what it's learned from. So odds are it already has a basic not even a basic, an advanced understanding of what you're wanting to discuss with ChatGPT. It's just, again, going in there and understanding how to prompt it properly and ask those questions.
So do you think this is something that people should look into? If I'm, again, a fixed ops dealer, director, dealer principal,
Sure.
This is something that you think is worth exploring.
100%. And the reason I say that too is because although we've just started having access to it over the past 3 months, it's been out for years and years. And there's over 300 commercial applications that are already using ChatGPT's API or back end as the driving force for the interface on the front end. So odds are you're probably already using it in some way, shape, fashion, or form.
And how do you get the customer acceptance? I know you hear people talk, I want to talk to a real person, or, and again, it might be this interaction of setting an appointment time. I guess, how do you work with the customer about that acceptance? Or maybe it's, the chat GPT gets a little bit better and the customer never knows that it's not a person, a machine texting them, but it's a person. How do you get over that acceptance hump?
The acceptance up there is the fact, because the algorithms that ChatGPT uses, or natural language understanding that it leverages, it's trained on that type of neural network, that it's going to be transparent to the consumer after fine-tuning ChatGPT for that particular industry or niche. So odds are, if you've got a chatbot set up using ChatGPT, it's already been fine-tuned for your particular audience. So if you're a service director or a parts director and you're wanting to have those types of conversations with your clients, you've probably already on the back end fine-tuned ChatGPT to be able to have those natural language conversations so that the end user doesn't even know the difference.
That's amazing stuff. Cutting edge technology.
100%.
I think that's going to be really cool. I wish you were around when I was in college. I could have gotten out in less than 5 years.
100%. I mean, that's how I got into it for content creation. And it made writing scripts and writing promo material and writing social media posts, it just streamlined everything. Yeah. So
interesting stuff. I look forward to watching this kind of journey as it kind of goes along in the fixed ops world.
It's going to be interesting for sure.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.